Welcome to the Extend Your Application Apex Applications with Advanced Digital Assistant workshop. We have seen in Ettores' video how digital assistants are already part of our daily basis, so let's try to take advantage of them and then use them wisely to contribute and add value to our business. My name is Priscila Iruela. I am Technology Product Strategy Director, part of Oracle team. I am very excited to show you some innovative new technologies that you can take advantage, such as Apex using autonomous databases and Oracle Digital Assistant. But before I would like to introduce some folks that are helping with today's workshop. Victor Martin, Technology Product Strategy Manager, and myself will be your guides and presenters for today's workshop. We have loads of panelists that will be supporting questions behind the scenes. Ettore, you already met him. He's Developer Marketing Director for EMEA. John is Technology Strategy Product Program Manager. Ragwan and Paola are Technology Product Strategy Managers. Roxana, Senior Cloud Specialist. Fatih, Senior Cloud Engineer. And Melanie, Master Principal Sales Consultant. So all these people are supporting the workshop, so thank you so much for all your support. Here is the agenda. We will start having short introductions of Lab 1 and 2, and we will do the provisioning of our autonomous database and Apex workspace. The labs will kick off with a pre-recorded presentations of myself and Victor, so for taking the most info in the shorter amount of time. And then after the intro videos, we will go to the hands-on experience following the short video that I already mentioned. After you have time to provision your instances, we will give you an overview of Digital Assistant. This is when Victor's video will start, introducing lab number 3, 4, and 5, where again, you will get hands-on experience to complete these labs. At the end, we will talk a bit about a short recap and what you have done and what you have achieved during this workshop. We are going to spend 2 hours in today's workshop, and we will be giving you enough time to complete all the different labs. If you don't complete them, don't worry. The environment will be available for you after the lab, so please work on the exercises at your own pace. The most important is, like today, we have experts here supporting your questions, so take advantage of that and ask as more questions as you have to complete and success every exercise. And if you don't complete all, don't worry, you can keep doing them and contact us, send us an email or whatever, and then we will support you. Before today's session, you were sent a registration email with a request to have complete a few prerequisites. I will start a poll to see if you have completed these prerequisites, so we can allocate better time to the exercise that we will do today. In the chat section and during today's presentation, you will be given different bit.ly links where you can access to the content. The bit.ly link that you can see right now on the screen is just to create the trial account for those that haven't completed as part of the prerequisites. So for those that haven't completed, please go to the bit.ly link that you have in the screen right now and start completing the trial account. For those that already have done it, bear with me, and then we will start very soon. Okay, thank you so much for answering the poll. So let's move on. Just a reminder, if you have any questions, please post them in the Q&A section in Zoom and not in chat. One of our panelists will answer. Please remember to write all the information in one question and include as more information as possible to answer the question that you are, the problem that you are facing, especially which step are you following or in which step you are facing this problem. And then we can allocate from which lab and which step you are facing the problem, and then we will try to replicate the same problem that you are facing to respond and answer the question more accurately. Just want to remind everyone to please read and carefully follow every step in the lab, and please do not skim. Each step is required for your lab to work properly, and if your lab is not working, Please check to ensure that you have followed every step before posting a question in the Q&A section, and then we will answer. Okay, so let's start. Lab 1 and 2 cover setting up Autonomous Database and Oracle Application Express workspace creation. Let's first take a look at the video on the different steps. This video will take approximately 4 minutes, so see you live in 4.
Hi everyone. I've been helping customers to understand technologies such as autonomous databases and Application Express, and which benefits can add more value to our customer businesses. I want to cover briefly what autonomous transactional data processing database is and how you can create applications using a low-code development tool, Apex, in the most effective way. Autonomous databases is a new concept of databases that Oracle has in the market. The individual components of the autonomous databases together enable the self-driven, self-repairing, and self-securing capabilities of the autonomous database. In addition, autonomous database eliminates complexity for the developers. This workshop has been created for you, developers. Fastest time to usage, rapid provisioning, online elastic scaling, no DBA support required for, performance tuning, patching, and cloning, one database service for all developers requirements, relational, JSON, spatial, graph, text, etc., RESTful database access, Apex for low-code application development, self-driven database for developers, creates mission-critical scale-out database in minutes, automates all monitoring, management, and tuning, eliminating database maintenance, allows customers to focus on business goals, not on technology. Full compatibility enables simple database migration. Autonomous database has 2 flavors: Autonomous Transaction Processing, ATP, and Autonomous Data Warehouse, ADW. In the next few slides, you can see a few use cases per autonomous database flavor. For this workshop, we want to use autonomous transaction processing, particularly referring to departmental or mission-critical applications use case. That brings us to the next point, low-code development technology, that we will use to create these departmental or mission-critical applications. Application Express. Oracle Apex definition: a high-productivity, low-code development platform for business analysts and low-code developers to easily build scalable and secure data-driven web applications. Oracle Apex runs anywhere that Oracle database runs, whether it's on-premise, cloud, or anywhere else. As part of this workshop, we will create tables on Apex using Quick SQL, a new capability of Apex. You will use it as part of lab number 2. These tables will be stored on our ATP database. They will be used by Apex and can be consumed as REST services, thanks to our Oracle REST Data Services, ORDS for short, as part of our database capabilities. ORDS provides an HTTPS interface for working with the content of REST-enabled schemas, as you can check in the diagram. As a recap of this part of the workshop, in lab number 1, you will create an autonomous database, ATP. As part of lab number 2, you will firstly create an Apex workspace, where later on you will create an application. You will use Quick SQL Apex capability to create tables easily and fast. And on the last part of lab number 2, you will use RESTful services to register your Apex schema on ORDS. We can offer a REST API of the tables that you already created. All the best with the labs.
Great. So it's time to go to the labs themselves. But before, you can access to the content following the bit.ly link that you can see in the slides or scan the QR code. There you have the exercises that we will follow today. For those that have not completed the prerequisites, I hope these few minutes that we gave you, you already completed. If you haven't completed yet, keep working on that, and then our panelists will answer to you. Please remember that your sign-up process for the cloud account will be not necessary if you are using the same email address that you used to register to this workshop. And additionally, we are giving you 500 credits instead 300 that you can have in a normal trial period. Follow the prompts in the sign-up process for those that haven't completed. For those that already completed the prerequisites, please go directly to lab number 1, create autonomous database directly, and after complete lab number 2, the creation of Apex. As a reminder, don't forget to post your questions in the Q&A section, and one of our panelists will answer. But before we go to the labs ourselves, I would like to introduce Victor, and Victor will do a short demo about lab number 1 and lab number 2. So, Victor, over to you.
Thank you, Priscilla. I just want to mention some of the highlights of the lab number 1 and lab number 2. So as per the video and the description from Priscilla, we know that we are going to create an autonomous database that is going to host our information, and then we are going to create an Apex workspace that is going to allow us to put some information inside of the database, but also enable REST services. Those are the REST services that we are going to consume from Digital Assistant. So first, let's jump into lab number 1. Just a quick reminder, everything that I'm going to say is just for you to have an idea of the general picture. And then we are going to just go through the steps one by one. Everything is explained on the content of the lab. So bear with me for a second. And let's go to the Oracle console. In this case, we are going to go to the Oracle database in the menu and then autonomous transaction processing. That is the database we are going to use. I already create one, but if you want to follow the steps, you will have to create one from scratch. And in that case, you are going to change the name. Use the names that we recommend. That will help us to help you on the Q&A section. So just make sure you put the names, transaction processing, share infrastructure. Everything is by default. Feel free to change to always free or not, but in any case, you can just follow the steps and the recommendations that we give you in the content. The password, remember the password because you are going to use it very soon. And then everything by default, the only thing that you have to select here is the license included. As soon as you do that, you click create. And then after a few seconds, you will have an active, available autonomous database for you. It will look like this. All the information is there for you. Something interesting, in order to get access to the Apex, you can go to Tools and then open Apex. And this is where Lab 2 kicks on. So in this case, you are going to create a workspace. In my case, I'm going to show you how to log in mine. So I already create my workspace, but if it's the first time you log in this, it will ask you for the admin password. It's explained on the guide, but the admin password is exactly the password you use when you create the autonomous database. After you create the workspace, and you will have to log in inside. And after that, I'm going to just put the credentials. Password is there. So let's sign in. So after you have your database, you have your workspace. Now you will have access to your workspace in Apex. And there is an interesting step here. So we have already done this step, the creation of Apex in lab number 2. We can go to one specific case that I want to show you, that is create a table with quick SQL. This is an amazing tool because it's going to allow you to create a table, the schema, just with one simple example. So with this code that you see here, it's going to create a tasks table with a text inside. That will be one of the columns inside of tasks. And for that, you have to go to this menu, SQL Workshop, Utilities, and Quick SQL. So I'm going to show you this SQL Workshop, Utilities, and then Quick SQL. I already created the table just for save time, but what you should do is to paste that, and you can click Generate SQL, and that will show you all the code. This is very simple. It's a mock table, but you can create a very interesting relationships between tables. So it's something that you need to revisit after the workshop, just to make sure that you learn a lot. It's very interesting. And then in this case, you are going to save the SQL and review and run. After that, it will say that you have created the table, and this is the moment when you can start putting information inside. That will be task 3 inside of the lab number 2. And for that, we have to go to SQL object browser. And then you see, you will have different tables there. In my case, I already have that created. So let's go to object browser. And then I have different example tables. And this is the table that we just created. In my case, I already put one row in that table. So table with the description, but then in data, we will have all the rows that we have. I have already one. So let me create another that is going to be insert row. In this case, you can leave the ID empty because it's going to be auto-generated. But one of the steps is to put the text that is my task, that is buy bread, and click create. After that, you will have the 2 tables that we are going to use during the rest of the lab. That is almost everything. Something interesting that you have to as well explore is the RESTful services in SQL Workshop. And that will be the last step, the task number 4. For you, there will be a big button here saying to confirm that you want to enable this. And then something that I want you to understand is that there is like a hierarchy of objects, entities that you have to create. Everything is explained once again. So just keep in mind that you have to create a module that is com example ODA, task, and the handler get. And this is the query that we are going to do against the database. And with that, that is all you have to do for lab number 1 and lab number 2. And now you can start with lab number 1. Thank you, Priscilla.
Thank you so much, Victor. Very useful insight of the exercises that we are doing. So now is your time, guys. So we are giving you 20 minutes to execute lab number 1 and lab number 2. So don't forget to pose your questions, and then see you live in 20. Bye now. Hello all, welcome back. I hope we don't have more problems, technical problems with the music and the Zoom. Sorry for that, guys. So I hope that you are enjoying the exercises that we are doing this morning. So the next topic is digital assistant. On the following labs, we cover provisioning digital assistant, implementing custom components, and create digital assistant skills. So first, let's take a look at the video with the different steps that we will do in the next 3 labs. The next video will be presented by Victor and will take approximately 4 minutes. So see you live in 4.
Welcome to labs number 3, 4, and 5 of this workshop. Let me guide you through some of the concepts around digital assistant and the integration with RESTful services. What is a digital assistant? Until now, chatbots solve simple business problems like customer service automation or self-service functions, but digital assistants are user-oriented. They assist users with various related or unrelated tasks. Conversations are context-aware, and assistants learn about the user. Digital assistant is the future of chatbots. Although digital assistants are just a computer program that use artificial intelligence and machine learning to combine independent chatbots into a single conversational interface, it assists real users with a natural conversation to help them throughout their day. Oracle Digital Assistant is Oracle's second-generation intelligent bot platform for you to build composite chatbot solutions from independent skills. Why conversational experiences? Because it is easier. As a natural conversation, there is no special interface to learn. Websites, mobile apps, you have to get used to the user interface. With a bot, what you need to learn, you know it already. Unlike most mobile apps, there is no download. You can access a bot through a text-based app you are already using, like Slack, WhatsApp, Microsoft Teams, Facebook Messenger, and voice speakers like Amazon Echo or Google Home. It is always available, ready to have a conversation 24/7. It brings you more channels, text, voice, or anything you want, and just in one single interface. You can integrate with backend apps reusing Oracle pre-built integrations with SaaS applications. But you can also build your own integrations with custom components, as we will do in lab number 4. Custom components are used to integrate remote services and allow you to integrate custom code logic into a bot conversation. Think of custom components as the equivalent of libraries in Java that you can reuse during your development. Oracle provides a Node.js SDK, a free library that makes custom component development and deployment very easy. You can deploy your custom components remotely or locally, depending on your needs. Any application can be integrated with a digital assistant. The skills define the conversation flow. The interaction between user and skills results in the completion of a task. User messages are interpreted by a trained model to discover what is the intention of the user and what relevant information user message contains. Oracle gives you pre-built skills that you can reuse, or you can build your own skills. Oracle Digital Assistant channels support popular conversation channels, but it is open and agnostic, so you can integrate your own messaging system as well. To recap, we are going to work on labs number 3, 4, and 5. We are going to create an Oracle Digital Assistant instance. We are also going to implement an integration with RESTful services through a custom component. And finally, we are going to reuse that custom component on a brand new skill for your digital assistant. Enjoy!
Now that we know what is behind digital assistant, I think we are ready to go for the rest of the exercise. Victor now will do a short demo about lab number 3, but if you completed lab number 3, please go ahead and don't wait for us. In every exercise, Victor will provide a short demo about the next steps that we will do, but again, please work at your own pace. These 3 exercises that we have in front of us will take 50 minutes, but we will have short checkouts with you to see how are you going, and Victor will provide the input in every exercise. So Victor, over to you.
Thank you, Priscilla. Let's share the screen and kick off with lab number 3. So basically in this one, as we mentioned, we are going to create a digital assistance instance. And after that, I want you to explore a little bit the menus and how everything looks like in the digital assistant. So starting from the web console, you can find digital assistant on the menu in analytics and AI, and then AI services, digital assistant. You click there. I already have my instance created just to save a little bit of time, but the menu is very simple and is similar to the creation of the autonomous database. You click on Create Digital Assistance Instance, and then you put the name. In our case, we ask to put ODA and then a description, what is optional. Then you can create a development or a production instance. We ask to create a development. For this workshop is more than enough for you to explore. So the development is the shape that we are going to use, and then you can click create. I'm not going to click create because I already have it. As soon as it's ready, it will change to active. And then, let me put it a little bit bigger. And then we can go to this submenu and click on Service Console. That will redirect us to the digital assistance instance. So that will be the main dashboard. It will ask you to log in. So you use your normal credentials, the ones you use on your trial. In my case, it's already connected, but if not, you have to click on login and put the email and the password that you use on your Oracle tenancy. And then I already have some of the steps done, but basically what I want you to do is to inspect the videos, the watch videos, the menu, open the menu and feel familiar with everything that is there. With that, you are ready with lab number 3, and you can just put all your questions on the Q&A. So Priscilla, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victor. So see you live in 10. Thank you, and see you in 10 minutes. Then what we will do is now Victor will do a short demo about lab number 4 to provide a few tips for implement custom components. So Victor, over to you.
Thank you, Priscilla. Let me share the screen and let's jump into Firefox. Very good. So for this lab, what we are going to do is to implement the custom component. For those of you with less experience on the development side, I'm going to walk you through some of the steps that could be a little bit more difficult. In any case, everything, as always, is explained step by step on the guide. So follow along and let us know in the Q&A if there is any question. The first step we are going to do is to open Cloud Shell. That is basically a small free Linux instance that is run inside of Oracle Cloud for you. So that is a nice place to start if you don't have the environment ready on your computer, and it's basically really simple to start. The first command that we are going to run is this one. So I'm going to copy and come back to the Oracle Cloud console and walk you through the steps. First, to open Cloud Shell. So basically it's here at the top on the right side, you can click Cloud Shell. It's going to take a few seconds. Basically from here, we are going to paste the command that I just mentioned. So this takes a few minutes. I already have run this and in any case, but what I want you to do is to see all the steps. So basically what is happening is that we are creating the structure of the custom component. As soon as we have that structure, we can do some of the rest of the steps. So I'm going to this one. So one of the steps still in task number 1 is to edit some of the information that is there. So I'm going to walk you through that. For those of you that don't know B, there is few tips on the guide, so follow along. And if you don't know B, you can use the Q&A for any question. I will keep an eye on that, but embrace yourself because B is, well, is the way to edit files. So let's move to the folder. So task, everything is explained on the guide. Okay, I'm just jumping exactly to the point that I want. In this case, you can list all the files. That is all created for you with the command that we just ran. And one of the files that we want to edit, so I type b package.json, and that is the file. By default, it's going to indicate default names, and that is something that we don't want. So we want to delete that part, my component service on the name. We want our own name. So I'm going to use X to delete all of that, and then insert. So I type the letter I, and we are going to put the name that, if I don't remember wrong, is task.cc, task custom component. As soon as we have that, escape, semicolon X to exit and save the file. That will be the first step. Okay, you can always download the file with this. I don't want to get a lot of time on that, but you can download and then re-upload the file, but it takes a little bit more time. The other step that we want to do is to edit tasks.js, and that is inside of a component folder. So if we list, we will see that we have a components folder, change directory to components, and then if I list the files, I'll see that I have a task.js, I'm going to edit that file with B. If you feel familiar with other editor, feel free, like Nano, I think is installed as well. So B task.js. And then we are going to delete all the lines in this file because we are going to copy the file that is here. So let me go here. So that is the information that we want. Okay, so I copy and then I come back to Cloud Shell. And then here to delete lines is double D. So DD is going to delete lines. So you just can use D all the time and make sure that you delete all the lines. As soon as you delete all the lines, you can insert and then Control V to paste. I actually did something wrong. I didn't delete all the lines. So make sure you delete. That should finish like that. And then we can go up to the top again. I knew it. Okay, let me go to the top. Actually, let's do it properly, as you have to do it. Delete all the lines. Okay, and now I copy again just to make sure that I get everything. And then once again, I insert and paste. And now if I go to the top, I see that everything is correct. Cool. There is something else that I want you to edit in this file. So you have to go to this line, ORDS URL. This is the URL that comes from the REST enabled service, the table that we have. So I'm going to come back to my Apex workspace, and I'm going to go to the SQL workshops, RESTful services. And here I go to the structure that I mentioned on the previous lab. So modules is com, example, ODA, task, get. And here I will have this URL that you tested before in the previous lab. If I come back here and edit this, so let's delete that part. And between the double quotation, you paste that information. Once again, escape, semicolon, X to exit and save, and you are good to go. The next step will be to pack all the custom components, so you can come back to the top. npm run pack, I believe it is. Let me double check it. So as soon as we edit the file and copy the URL, we are going to do the deployment of the custom component, and in that case is npm pack. npm pack. So I run that, and it's going to create a file. This file is the one we need for the next lab. So you can follow the steps. Everything is just about to download that file from the Cloud Shell, and then that file will be used in the next lab. If you have any question with B or how to edit the files, we can help you in the Q&A. So that is all for this lab. So good luck. And Priscilla, over to you.
Thank you, Victor. Something useful that maybe you can mention is that they can maximize the Cloud Shelf. So they can see it bigger over there, you know, showing a bit bigger the window.
That would be largest, is like super large, but
small. not referring to the letter. Maybe just showing that they can see bigger screen, you know, in the corner, right corner, when you have.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
thank you.
Maximize.
Yeah.
So well, that is actually an interesting one as well. So explore Cloud Shell is very useful, but the one that Priscilla is referring is this maximize. And this is going to give you the whole browser with the console. So that will give you all the, that is actually really good because you can see everything that you are done, all the generation with npm packed and so on. So yeah, that's really good. Feel free to play. You can restore back, and this behaves like a normal window, like minimize, maximize, and close. You can also close the console. One of the steps now that I'm here, if you go to the menu, you can download that file that we generate with npm pack. So that is as simple as that. Put the URL there. You can copy the examples. It's all on the guide. So good luck. No,
I find
Priscilla, over to you.
thank you, Victor. I mentioned to maximize it because when you are trying to clean the file that we have to edit, I find it much easier to see all the screen and just delete all the rows, so you can be sure that you have deleted. Then they don't have the problem that happened to you, right?
That is probably why I messed up that first step. So thank you.
Thank you so much for showing. And then, guys, just be aware that these problems that happened to Victor probably will happen to you. That happened to everyone. B is an editor that is not very simple to use, but we wish you all the best because we all face the same problems with B. So again, we will provide 40 minutes for lab number 4 and lab number 5, so you can divide the time as you wish. Now we will allocate 20 minutes for lab number 4. It's not very complicated. The only thing is like you have to be editing the files as Victor has done, and then can have a small complexity. So feel free, don't feel embarrassed to ask questions about B because everyone faces them. So thank you so much. See you live in 10 minutes and enjoy the exercise. Hello again. Now we come to the final lab of today, lab number 5, but we still have the final exercise to complete, that is create digital assistant skills. So Victor will provide a short clarifications of the steps that are a bit more complicated, and then we will provide you time to complete it accordingly. So Victor, over to you for the final demo of today.
Thank you, Priscilla. Let me share the screen, and I'm going to share my browser. So basically, we go for lab number 5. Basically, it's the creation of the digital assistant skill. It's basically the way we are going to create a conversation with your users. And basically, it's very simple. I'm going to go through some of the tasks that you have to create. This one, I'm going to briefly just mention it, but basically it's create a skill, and it's just put in the names and the display names, and then click create. As soon as you do that, you are going to start working on that skill. And the first step is to import your custom component. The file that we generate in the previous lab is going to be used here. And for that, we are going to, this is my skill, my tasks that I have created just before the demo. And now we are going to go to components. Once again, everything is explained. Just follow step by step, don't skim any part. But if you go to custom component, I already have mine imported, but basically the normal way to do it will be to add a service. And that service is going to be a custom component. And here, the first is drag and drop the file that we generate. In that case, it's going to be our task CC, open. I'm not going to do it, but basically you put the name and the description and all the rest of the options. But this one is by default. But this one, you have to enable custom component logins, because it could be interesting if you get stuck with something, then all of the login from this custom component is going to be accessible. You click create, and then after a few seconds, you will see that the status is ready. As soon as you see that, it means that everything is created and ready to use. And then we can jump into the next step, that is task number 3, create intents. And this one is particularly the one you have to go step by step. Okay, so I'm going to walk you on that. Let's go to the intents. I already create the 2 intents that you have to create. So this is how it should look like at the end. You will have a greeting. So you have to edit this name and put greeting. You have to put greeting here as well. And then there are the utterances. That basically is the typical expressions that the user will use to express whatever intent is here. In this case, because it's the greeting, usually the user will say hello, it will say hi, and we will get some warnings because the recommendation is to use at least 3, but the many you can, like in different languages, you can express in different ways. How are you? Could be a nice way to say a greeting. All of that should be there. So you type here and click enter, and then it will be added here. You do the same for the second intent that you have to create. That is the list task. Once again, you edit with this button. You put the name here again, and then you fulfill all the utterances. In this case, I'm going to use list my task. So task, show me my task. Different ways to express the same thing. The more you put here, the easier the machine learning algorithm is going to learn what type of sentences, what type of ways to ask for this intent. That's brilliant. As soon as you have that, let's move to the next step. That will be the task number 4, put everything together. And for this, you are going to go to the flow editor. I'm going to just do it with you in 1 second. But one thing that you have to do is to clean again the flow that is created and put the one you can download from here. So you click here, it's going to open for download, but basically you can also open in a new tab. And as soon as you have that, you copy the content of that file and you paste it in the flow. So in my case, I already have that done. And you can go to flows. And then you paste here the content of that file. So you can select all and then delete it and paste it again. With the new one, you have to validate it with the new content already in place. You have to validate it and then train. Everything is explained, very simple. The final step of putting everything together is to test the skill. And with preview, you can click there and you can test it. So for example, I'm going to put hi, and it's going to answer me back, the digital assistant, and then we are going to ask for my tasks. So my tasks, and then it's going to retrieve the information from the REST endpoint. All of that happens through the custom component, and it's going to return the list from that table. As soon as that is done, you have integrated the whole thing. Okay, so that is all for lab number 5. It's very easy. If you have any question, any problem, let us know in the Q&A. So Priscilla, over to you. And now, just in time, I got the results from the table. Buy bread and get concert tickets. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Victor. Very, very nice way to interact with digital assistants. So we hope you have enough time to complete the exercise. Thank you so much, Victor, for the demo. Yeah, nice. Now time to you to complete the exercise. I am back. If you didn't complete lab number 5, that's okay. Please work at your own pace. Remember that you have a trial environment for 30 days, so you can use the credits whenever you like in this period of time. So to recap, we have covered on today's workshop creation of autonomous database instance, creation of an Apex workspace. We have used quick SQL and create RESTful services. We have created a digital assistant instance, implemented custom components, and create a digital assistant skills and put everything together to make it work and have digital assistant helping us knowing how many items we have in our list. So I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you so much to all the panelists. Thank you, Victor, for your demos. And thank you so much, and see you now.